yesterday's class, we started a comparative statement of P&L. Also, we completed up to question number 186. Now we will take up next question, question number 187. Question number 187. From the following information, from the following statement of P&L of S Limited, prepare comparative statement of P&L for the year ended 31st March. So revenue from operation given 32 lakh and 20 lakh. Expenses given, two expenses given, employee benefit expense, nothing but salary, and other expenses given. Rate of taxes 50%. So yesterday we did this type of question only. So one more question as a practice we will do. First one. So yesterday what is the format? First heading is comparative P&L for the year and for company for 2 years. Particulars. First you should give for last year, then current year, absolute change, percentage change. Okay, what is the change? That change you should express in terms of percentage. So first one. So question order requirement, comparative statement of P&L of S Limited for 2021-22 and 22-23. First, what is the first information? So Roman letter 1, it is revenue from heading. Also you can write particulars for the year ended 2021-22, for the year ended 2022-23, and what is the absolute change and what is the percentage change. So first one, revenue from operation. First one is revenue from operation. It is last year it is 20 lakh, this year it is 32 lakh. Increase is 12 lakh. 12 lakh you should express in terms of percentage. So 12 lakh divided by 20 lakh into 100 will give you 60%. Okay, second, first Roman letter is revenue from operation. Second Roman letter, it is expenses. This expenses. In expenses, first expense we have employee benefit expense. Employee benefit expense. It is first year it is, last year it is 6 lakh. Current year it is 9 lakh and 60,000. What is the change? 3 lakh and 60,000. This 3 lakh 60,000 you express in terms of 6 lakh. 3 lakh 60 divided by 6 lakh also will give you same 60%. Next expense, other expense we have. What is the other expense? Last year it is 4 lakh. This year it is 6 lakh and 40,000. Again the change is how much? 2 lakh and 40,000. 2 lakh 40 you express in terms of percentage. 2 lakh 40 divided by 4 lakh will give you net amount, will give you percentage 60%. What is the total expense? Expense order total, it is 10 lakh. And what is the expense of current year? 9 lakh 60 plus 6 lakh 40 will give you 16 lakh. It means expenses increases to the extent of 6 lakh. 6 lakh will be expressed in terms of percentage. 6 lakh divided by 10 lakh will give you, this is total expense. 6 lakh divided by 10 lakh will give you 60%. So income minus expense will give you profit. This is profit before tax. This is profit before tax. With the profit before tax, 20 lakh minus 10 lakh will give you 10 lakh. 32 minus 16 will give you 16 lakh. 12 lakh minus 6 lakh will give you 6 lakh. And total profit before tax. What is the profit before tax? In revenue, you reduce the expense, you will be getting this profit. So change is 6 lakh. So 6 lakh into this 60 percentage it will give you. So less tax. You should reduce tax. What is the tax rate given in the question? Tax rate given is 50 percentage. 50 percentage is the tax rate. It means 10 lakh into 50 percentage. 10 lakh into 50 percentage will give you 5 lakh. 16 lakh into 50 percentage will give you 8 lakh. Okay, so what is the percentage? The 3 lakh is the change, and this is also how much percentage? 60 percentage. So what is the final thing? What is the final answer? It is fourth Roman letter. It is profit. It is profit after tax. It is profit after tax. 10 lakh minus 5 lakh will give you 5 lakh. 16 minus 8 will give you 8 lakh. 6 minus 3 it is 3 lakh. And what is the percentage change? It is 60 percentage. That's all. So very easy type of question, very frequently asked. Definitely this one will be asked. This topic is not like ratio analysis. In ratio analysis, we cannot make any prediction. This ratio will come அப்படின்னு சொல்லி separate we cannot make any prediction. But in this financial statement and all, definitely you can predict. You have only two type of question. Either they will ask common size or they will ask comparative. This is comparative. We will compare the last year information with current year information. What is the increase or decrease we will express in terms of percentage. That is about this. What means comparative financial statement. Proceeding further to the next topic. Next topic it is common size. Common size statement. Next one it is what now? Common size statement. What do you mean by common size statement? In common size statement, we have two things. We have common size P&L and another one is common size balance sheet. One is common size P&L and another one is common size balance sheet. Common size P&L, revenue from operation, it is treated as 100 percentage. Revenue from operation is treated as 100 percentage. In balance sheet, your balance sheet total is treated as how much na? 100 percentage. Balance sheet total is treated as 100 percentage. And other numbers will be expressed, okay, as a percentage of, if it is common size P&L, other numbers will be expressed as a percentage of revenue from operation. If it is common size balance sheet, other numbers will be expressed in terms of the total which is given in the balance sheet. To understand this, we will take up one question. Already we prepared a comparative financial statement. Now we are going to prepare common size statement. From the following information of CN Limited, prepare common size statement of profit and loss for the year ended 31st March 2023, also 31st March 2024. The informations given are particulars 23-24 and 22-23. Revenue from operation nothing but sales 40 lakh 20 lakh. Purchases given 8 lakh and 4 lakh. Other expense given 4 lakh and 2 lakh. And the tax is 50 percentage. So that's all. This is the information which is given in the question. So go through this question. So it is very easy to prepare. So heading is common size income statement. Whenever you start doing some question, first you should write the heading. First heading common size income statement, common size income statement of, common size income statement of யாரோட இது, of CN Limited for 2022-23 and 2023-24, 2 years. So particulars, first one particulars, second note number, then financial year 2022-23, then financial year 2023-24. Okay, what is the percentage of revenue? What is the percentage of revenue for 2 year 2022-23 and 2023-24? Like this, you can first have a broad classification. First information. What is the first information? Revenue from operation. It is revenue from operation. What is the revenue from operation for first year? 20 lakh. 20 lakh is the revenue from operation. 22-23 it is 40 lakh. Okay, now next, less expenses. Expenses. We have two expense. One is purchase. One is purchase. Another one is other expense. How much is purchase? 8 lakh and 4 lakh. How much is other expense? 4 lakh and 2 lakh. What is the total expense? What is the total expense? 8 lakh plus 4 lakh will give you 12 lakh. 4 lakh plus 2 lakh will give you 6 lakh. Total expense over. Next, profit. Profit before tax. Profit before tax. Income is 20 lakh. Revenue from operation is 20 lakh. Total expense is 12 lakh. Upper 20 minus 12, it is 20 minus 12 will give you, first for which year, 22-23, and 20 minus 12 will give you, correct information, 48. Oh, இது வந்து தப்பா எழுதியிருக்கேன். So first 20-23 க்கு you should write what is the information. 20 க்கு 4 lakh 2 lakh. So purchase is 4 lakh. This one is 2 lakh. இப்போ இது 6 lakh. இப்போ இங்கே 8 lakh and 4 lakh. You should be careful. Okay. So this one will become 8 plus 4 will give you 12 lakh. Next, profit before tax. Next, profit before tax. 20 minus 12 will give you 14 lakh. 40 minus 12 will give you 40 minus 12 will give you 8 lakh. 28 lakh. 40 minus 12 will give you 28 lakh. Profit before tax over. Less tax. What is the tax rate given in the question? 50% is the tax rate. So tax rate at 50%. 14 lakhs into 50% will give you 7 lakh. 28 into 50% also 14 lakh. It is 14 lakh. But this will give you profit after tax. This will give you profit after tax. Same like previous thing only. 14 minus 7 will give you 7 lakh. 28 minus 14 will give you 14 lakh. Will give you 14 lakh. That's all. Now we have written all these things. Now two things are pending. One is percentage you should write. The sales is expressed as a percentage, 100%. The sales is representing How much percentage means 100 percentage. What is the purchase represents? What is the percentage of purchase? It is 4 lakh divided by 20 lakh into 100. 4 lakh divided by 20 lakh into 100. What is the amount? What is the percentage? 4 lakh out of 20 lakh. 4 by 20 will give you, it is 20 percentage. Okay, other expense. What is the other expense? 2 lakh. 2 lakh divided by 10 lakh. 2 lakh divided by 10 lakh. It will give you 10 percentage. Total expense comes to 30 percentage. What is your profit before tax? 70 percentage. 14 lakh. 100 minus 30 will give you 70 percentage. 14 lakh. 7 lakh is the 50 percentage tax. 7 lakh divided by 20 will give you 35 percentage. 70 minus 35 will give you 35 percentage. That's all pa. This is for first year. Same information you should write for second year also. What is for second year? 100 percentage. The revenue represents 100 percentage. Same thing will come. 8 lakh divided by 40 lakh will give you 20 percentage. 4 lakh divided by 40 lakh will give you 10 percentage. This will give you 30 percentage, and this profit is 70 percentage, and tax will be 35 percentage, and your profit after tax will be 35 percentage. That's all. So very easy one. Just you need to find out the percentage. Whatever information there in the question, you write the same question again, and you should just find the percentage and you should present your answer. This is common size income statement. P and L over. First part is over. Here revenue from operation is treated as 100 percentage. If it is common size balance sheet, if it is common size balance sheet, your balance sheet total will be treated as 100 percentage. Your balance sheet total will be treated as 100 percentage. Let's see one more question. Common size income statement. What is expressed as a percentage of dash? What is expressed as a percentage in common size income statement? In income statement, what is expressed as a percentage? Everything is expressed in terms of revenue from operation. So answer for question number 189 is, it is D. Next, one more question. From the following information of PK Limited, prepare common size statement, common size P&L for the year ended 31st March 23 and 24. 23-24 given, 22-23 is given. 2 years information is there. 10 lakh, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 5 lakh, 50, 1 lakh. Tax rate is 50 percentage. Already we have done one question. So second question nala practice mari try பண்ணுங்க. Try this question and tell me the answer. Please try this question number 190. Same like the previous question which we solved. No value addition. Simply or practice kaga you are just solving. Please try. Once complete பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா chatல ஒரு மெசேஜ். So we'll discuss the answer. So same format, same numbers, copy paste. So heading same. So just we can complete. Heading it is common size income statement. Common size income statement. Quickly help me with the numbers. Common size income statement of PK Limited. Common size income statement of PK Limited for 2 years, 31st March 2023-24. அது எழுதிக்கோங்க. First one revenue from operation, and tell me first year it is 25 lakh, and second year it is 10 lakh plus expense. Also we have other income, so other income should be added. Other income should be added 50,000, and we have 1 lakh. So 50,000 and 1 lakh. So total your income is total income comes to 5 lakh and 50,000, and here also total income comes to 11 lakh, and minus expense. What are the expense we have? First one, expense straight away given. Expense it is 2 lakh, and what is the other expense? 1 lakh, and we have profit before tax. What is profit before tax? 3 lakhs and 50,000. 2 lakh and 1 lakh, or 1 lakh and 2 lakh and 2 lakh. Expenses 1 lakh and 2 lakh. Expenses 1 lakh and 2 lakh. Up it is 5 lakh 50 minus 1 lakh will give you 4 lakh and 50,000. 11 lakh minus 2 lakh will give you 9 lakh. Profit before tax 9, and less tax. Taxes at 50 percentage. 2 lakh and 25,000. 2 lakh and 25,000. Here it is 4 lakh and 50,000. Upon net it is 4 lakh 50 minus this 2 lakh 25,000. This is profit after tax. And here also 4 lakhs and 50,000. What are the numbers we have? What is the percentage for first year and second year? 5 lakhs will be taken. 5 lakh will be representing 100. So it is 50,000. It is 10 percentage. Okay, so total it is 110 percentage. And expense 1 lakh. 1 lakh out of 10, 1 lakh out of 5 lakh. 1 divided by 5, it is 20 percentage. And tell me what is the next one? 4 lakh and 50. 4 lakh and 50 out of 5 lakh, it is 90 percentage. And tell me how much? 2 lakh 25,000 divided by 5 lakh will give you 45 percentage. And last one 45 percentage. Same numbers will come here also. So 10, and it is 110 percentage, 20, 90, 45 and 45. That's all. Nothing great here. Only simple question we have to write again, and then we should find the answer. That's it. Percentage you should find. Next one, preparation of common size balance sheet. Preparation of common size balance sheet of X Limited. Balance sheet is given. Heading equity and liability. In that shareholders fund. In that equity share capital. Second, reserves and surplus. Third, non-current liability. Fourth, current liability. Current asset, non-current asset. Current asset given. So assets given, liability given. Now, question order requirement. What is the requirement of the question? Prepare common size balance sheet. Prepare what? A common size balance sheet. Balance sheet you should prepare. Common size balance sheet you should prepare. This balance sheet total will be considered as 100. This balance sheet total will be considered as what? Na? 100. the 80 lakh இருக்குல்ல, அந்த 80 lakh will be considered as 100. If 80 lakhs is considered as 100, what are the other numbers? That is what we need to find out. So it is very simple. It is very simple. We have only one question for common size balance sheet. So listen carefully. First one, it is common size balance sheet. Common size balance sheet. Common size balance sheet of X Limited as at 31st March 22 and 23. So following are the information, particulars, balance sheet order note number, absolute amount, question அப்படியே எழுதணும், and you should find the percentage. Absolute amount, two things, 31st March 22, 31st March 23. Percentage, 31st March 22, 31st March 23. First we should write equity and liability. For Roman letter 1, equity and liability. You should write the question as it is. What is the first one? Equity and liability la. Equity, share capital. All these numbers you should write again. All these things you should write again. So I am just copy paste. The first one, it is shareholders fund. Equity and liability la first one, it is shareholders fund. Point number 1, shareholders fund. In that point number 1, we have first one, A, share capital. What is the amount of share capital? Equity share capital. Question like given 30 lakh and 15 lakh. First you should write for previous year 15 lakh. So 15 and 30. 15 lakh for previous year, 30 lakhs for current year. Second information. What is the second information? Reserves and surplus. Previous year 5 lakh, current year 10 lakh. Reserves and surplus. B, reserves and surplus. 5 lakh and 10 lakh. Reserves and surplus. Third is non-current liability. What is the amount of non-current liability? 20 lakh and 20 lakh. Both the year 20 lakh and 20 lakh. Next one, it is current liability. What is the amount of current liability? 10 lakhs and 20 lakhs. 10 lakhs and 20 lakhs. Now we have a balance sheet total of liability side. Now we have a total of balance sheet liability side. So it is given in the question. What is the balance sheet total? It is 80 lakhs is the total. This 80 lakh you are going to express in terms of percentage. Here what is the total? First year it is 80 lakh, second year 50 lakhs. First year 50, first previous year it is 50, current year it is 80. That's all. This you are going to write it in terms of percentage. But this total is going to represent 100%. If total is going to represent 100%, what is the amount of share capital? How to find out? 15 lakh divided by 50 lakh. 15 lakh divided by 50 lakh will give you 30%. 5 lakh divided by 50 lakh. 5 lakh divided by 50 lakh will give you 10%. Okay, then next 20 lakh divided by 50 lakh. 20 lakh divided by 50 lakh will give you 40 percentage. 10 lakh divided by 50 lakh will give you 10 percentage. If you add everything, you should get 100 percentage. So same thing will continue here also. 30 lakh divided by 80 lakh. What is the amount of 30 lakh divided by 80 lakh? 30 lakh divided by 80 lakh will give you 37.5 percentage. இது 10 lakh தானே? 10 lakh divided by 80 lakh, 10 divided by 8, 12.5 percentage. 20 lakh divided by 80 lakh, 25 percentage. 20 lakh divided by 80 lakh, again 25 percentage. Liability side over. Come to asset side. This is nothing but the total. Now come to asset. What is the first asset given in the question? It will be non-current asset. It will be what asset? Non-current asset. So first asset, point number 1. It is non-current asset. It is non-current asset. First for previous year. Previous year oda non-current asset. 30 lakh, 20 lakh. Inventory it is 20 lakh. Second one it is current asset. Current asset la not all the asset given, only one current asset is given, that is inventory. So we are just writing the question 30, 20, 30 and 20. 30 it is non-current asset. Inventory it is 20 lakh. Inventory it is 20 lakh. So non-current asset it is 30 lakh. Inventory it is 20 lakh. So total comes to 50 lakhs. Total comes to 50 lakhs. Same way for the current year. For the current year, 40 lakh and 40 lakh. Both are 40 lakhs. It is 40 lakh and 40 lakh. For both the year, it comes to 80 lakh. For both the year, it comes to 80 lakh. Now write the percentage. 30 lakh divided by 50 lakh will give you 60 percentage. 20 lakh divided by 50 percentage, 50 lakh will give you 40 percentage. So total it is 100 percentage. 40 40 about 50 50 50 percentage and 50 percentage, totally it is 100 percentage. That's all. Very easy one. Very easy one. Very easy to get marks in this particular segment. No difficult calculation and all, just percentage you should calculate. Okay, it is very easy to get marks in these segments. Next question. Next question. From the following information, prepare common size P&L of A Limited and B Limited for the year ended 31st March 23. Same like last question which we did. Okay, so this question you try as homework. Question number 192, try as homework. Third question ஆயிடும், அதனால வேண்டாம். Also question number 193, from the following is a balance sheet of information of NK Limited. Prepare common size P&L. So this two question you try as homework. Both are same, nothing new. Okay, so we will proceed to the next segment. So next segment it is ratio. Only two segments are pending. One is ratio analysis Another one is the financial statement, the schedule 3 oda format. In your entire syllabus, one topic where you cannot make any prediction, it is ratio analysis, because here we have many ratios, many formulas we have. It is not easy to tell only this question will come or this type of ratio will come அப்படின்னு சொல்லவே முடியாது. Okay, we have some quite important ratios we have that we will discuss along with MCQs. Okay, so we'll take up this ratios straight away for discussion. Ratio analysis. Okay, first one, we have first one, the quick ratio. Whenever we discuss some question, in that question we will be having some ratios. That ratio I will tell, and I will whatever formulas we are using, that formula I will tell, and we will apply in that number and we will be getting the answer. But for this topic alone, whatever we are discussing, this is not sufficient. You need to do extra some more questions, definitely, because in your material so many questions are given for ratio. Okay, but we are taking the exam questions. But in exam question you will find that there is no trend in this topic. One time they will ask return on equity, one time debtors turnover ratio, one time creditors turnover ratio, one time current ratio, quick ratio. There are like that many formulas are there. Okay, we'll try to discuss this. First one, quick ratio of the company is 1:1. Quick ratio of the company, it is 1:1. What do you mean by quick ratio? Quick asset divided by current liability. What is current quick asset? Quick asset oda meaning, quick asset is equal to current asset minus stock minus prepaid expenses. Quick asset is equal to current asset minus stock minus prepaid expenses. Which of the following will result in increase in quick ratio? Which of the following will result in what? Increase in quick ratio. So first one, cash received from debtor. What are the accounts affected because of this? Cash account affected and debtors account is affected. Cash account is a current asset. Debtors is also current asset. One asset increases, another asset decreases. So no change in the ratio. Because of this particular transaction, there will be no change in the ratio, because one asset increases, another asset decreases. Goods sold on credit. What is the entry for goods sold on credit? Debtors account debit to sales. Debtors account debit to sales. Here debtor increases. When debtor increases, meaning your current asset increases, meaning your quick asset also increases. Numerator will increase. When numerator increases, your quick ratio will increase. When numerator increases, your quick ratio will increase. So answer for this question is option B. Option B is the answer. Next, ratios that are calculated for measuring the efficiency of operation. Ratios that are calculated for measuring the efficiency of the operation of the business is based on effective utilization of resources. How the resources are used and what is the efficiency of the ratio are known as, this is known as turnover ratio. It is known as what ratio? Turnover ratio. Profitability ratio, meaning it will tell how much profit earned by the company. What is the gross profit earned by the company? What is the net profit earned by the company? What is the operating profit earned by the company? Solvency ratio will tell you whether the person is solvent or not, whether he is able to repay the loan or not. That is called a solvency ratio. Liquidity ratio means how the asset can be converted into cash. That is called as what ratio? Liquidity ratio. So in this question, what is the remaining thing is turnover ratio. Turnover ratio tells how the resources are utilized. We have debtors turnover ratio, creditors turnover ratio, stock turnover ratio. So in the Mari turnover ratio will tell you the efficiency of the operation. So answer is turnover ratio. Dash is a tool of analysis of financial statement which help us to assess the profitability, solvency and efficiency of enterprises. Answer is ratio analysis. Cash flow statement will tell you just a movement of cash. Comparative statement will tell everything in terms of percentage. What is the change which has happened? That change will be expressed in terms of percentage. Common size statement will tell you everything in terms of rupees 100. So, what is the tool of analysis? When you buy some company share, you will make some analysis. What is the net profit ratio? What is the gross profit ratio? How efficient the company is performing? Like that, we will make analysis through what na ratio analysis. Next one, the company has a current asset of current ratio of 3:1, and also quick ratio of 1:1 into 1. If the working capital is 1,80,000, question order requirement, calculate total current asset and inventory. Calculate total current asset and inventory. So, in this question, what are the formulas we will be using? That I will be telling you. So, based on that, you are going to solve this question. First of all, in this question, they have given current ratio. What do you mean by current ratio? Current ratio tells the relationship between current asset and the current liability. The formula for current ratio, it is current asset divided by current liability. Formula for current ratio, it is current asset divided by current liability. Okay, then what is the ratio formula for quick ratio? Quick ratio what a formula? Quick ratio is equal to quick asset divided by quick asset divided by current liability. Quick ratio is equal to quick asset divided by what? Current liability. And what is quick asset? Meaning of quick asset. Quick asset is equal to, already I told you the formula. Quick asset is equal to current asset minus stock and minus prepaid expenses. Current asset minus stock and prepaid expense. If no information is given about prepaid expense, then prepaid expense can be assumed as 0. Either you can take a quick ratio as current asset minus stock, or you can take it as current asset minus stock and prepaid expenses. There is a chance that prepaid expense can be 0, but normal stock 0 irukadu. So adanaல quick asset is equal to it is current asset minus what na current liability. So these three formulas are used required for this question. I will give you 2 minutes time. 3 marks question தான், ஈஸியான question தான். First you try, then we will discuss the answer. Those who are watching through YouTube, pause the video. Once you completely solve the question, அதுக்கப்புறமா video play பண்ணு. Okay. இதான் formula யூஸ் பண்ணணும். I told you. Once you completed, tell me the answer for current asset. Also tell me the answer for inventory. What is the answer? You should tell. What is the current asset and what is the inventory? Have we completed this? So what happened? So any answer? Current asset 2 lakh 70. Yeah. Okay, inventory. So I'm going to solve this. So what is the information which is given? Current ratio 3 is to 1. Current asset divided by current liability, it is 3 is to 1. It means 3 by 1. And what is the second information which is given in the question? Quick ratio. What is quick ratio? Quick asset divided by current liability, it is 1.2:1. So this is the information which is given. Also one more information is there. Working capital. What is working capital? Difference between current asset and current liability, it is working capital. So current asset minus current liability, it is 1,80,000. So these are the three information given in the question. So first find current asset is equal to, this 3 you multiply here, it will give you 3 current liability. Quick asset is equal to this quick asset is equal to 1.2 current liability. Working capital, what is working capital? Appo working capital, write it in terms of current asset. Current asset is equal to 1,80,000 plus current liability. Current asset is equal to 1,80,000 plus current liability. Current asset you keep it here, minus current liability, when it comes this side it will become plus. Appa it is 1,80,000 plus current liability. So now we have two things in terms of current liability. So current asset is equal to, substitute this current asset with 1,80,000. So 1,80,000 plus current liability will give you 3 current liability. So 3 current liability is 1,80,000. This current liability, when it comes this side, it will become minus. So it is 2 current liability is equal to 1,80,000. What is current liability? Current liability is equal to 1,80,000 divided by 1,80,000 divided by 1,80,000 divided by 2. 1,80,000 divided by 2 will give you 90,000 is your current liability. If your current liability is 90,000, substitute this current liability in any of the equation. What is your current asset? Current asset is equal to 3 current liability. What is your current asset? Current asset is equal to 90,000 into 3. 90,000 into 3 will give you 2,70,000. With this we found what na? Current asset. Once you found current asset, you can find out quick asset also. What is quick asset? Current liability we know. Quick asset is equal to 1.2 current liability. So quick asset is equal to 1.2 current liability. Quick asset is equal to 1.2 current liability. So quick asset is equal to 1.2 into 90,000. Tell me 1.2 into 90,000 will give you 90,000 into 1.2 will give you, quick asset will give you how much amount? 1,08,000. So we also find quick asset. Quick asset கண்டுபிடிச்சாச்சு, current asset கண்டுபிடிச்சாச்சு, current liability கண்டுபிடிச்சாச்சு. You can cross check. Current asset, it is how much amount? What is the current asset? Now we found 2,70,000. Current asset 2,70,000, yeah. And current liability, what is current liability? Current liability, it is 90,000. Current asset minus current liability will give you working capital. What is the working capital? 1,80,000. So our answer is correct. Okay, now go to the requirement. Question order requirement enna? First requirement is total current asset. We already found what is total current asset. Total current asset is 2,70,000. Total current asset is how much? Current asset, it is 2,70,000. What is the another thing they are asking? Inventory they are asking. How to find out inventory? With the help of quick asset we can find out inventory. Because what is quick asset? Quick asset is equal to current asset minus stock. Current asset minus stock. Actually, quick asset is equal to current asset minus stock minus prepaid expense. But in this question, we don't have information about prepaid expense, so we can assume prepaid expense as 0. Since we assume prepaid expense as 0, quick asset is equal to, what is quick asset? Quick asset, it is given as how much? 1,08,000. What is the current asset which is given? 2,70,000. Substitute the numbers. Appa you will be getting the stock as a balancing figure. So minus stock, this you when it comes this side, it will become plus. So stock is equal to 2,70,000 minus 1,80,000. When it comes this side, it will become minus 1,08,000. Up 2,70,000 minus 1,08,000. This will give you inventory. 2,70,000 minus 1,08,000. It is not 2,70,000 plus 8,000 illa. 2,70,000 minus 1,08,000 will give you 1,62,000. This is your answer. stock is how much amount now? 1,62,000. Okay. So stock answer for this question is two things we have found. So this type of question 3 marks it is asked. But we cannot tell only this type will be asked அப்படின்னு சொல்ல முடியாது இந்த ஒரு டாபிக். ஓகேவா? So because in other topic and all, if you see the questions are similar type of question, but in this topic alone we have many different variety of questions we have. Okay, proceeding to the next one. Question number 198. This is important. In this question we will learn one logic. That logic will be used in many questions. Even this will be helpful for answering many questions. If you understand this shortcut, it will helpful for understanding many questions. In many times, especially when you do the ratios relating to solvency, this type of approach will help you. Read the question. Total asset is given 3 lakh. Non-current asset is given 2,60,000. Current liabilities, non-current liability is given 80,000. Shareholders fund is given 2 lakh. Okay, current ratio can be calculated on the basis of following. Current ratio can be calculated on the basis of following. What is the current ratio they are asking? Listen carefully. So for this type of question, always have balance sheet. Always have what? Balance sheet. You know, balance sheet consists of two sides. One is liability, another one is asset. Okay, va? In this liability, first liability we call it as non-current asset. First asset is what? What asset? Non-current asset. Second asset is what? Na? Current asset. Similarly, here we have non-current liability. Here we have non-current liability. Then we have current liability. And we have something called as shareholders fund. We have something called as what? Shareholders fund. This is the balance sheet format. So liability side la three things: share capital, non-current liability, current liability. Asset side la non-current asset and current asset. If you write current liability in the asset side, then it will give you current asset minus current liability will give you dash na working capital. Current asset minus current liability will give you dash working capital. For example, assume shareholders fund is 10 rupees. Non-current liability is 2. Current liability is 3. What is your liability side total? 15. Okay, same 15 will come here. The 15 order breakup, it is 14 non-current asset, 1 is current, it is 10 is non-current asset, and your current asset will be 5. Now listen. Okay, what is working capital? If someone asks you what is working capital is equal to 5 minus 3 will give you 2. 5 minus 3 will give you what? 2. Now, what is the requirement of the question? Now, question order requirement vaanga. Idella vittrunga. So question order requirement. Question la kuduthirukra information. Total asset is given. What is the total asset? 3 lakh. Adula second non-current asset is given. Non-current asset is how much na? 2 lakh and 60. Correcta? Now, tell me what is current asset. Current asset can be arrived as a balancing figure. So total asset is 3 lakh. Non-current asset is 2 lakh 60. Current asset will be how much na? 40,000. Same way, non-current liability. What is non-current liability? 80,000 is your non-current liability. Shareholders fund. Shareholders fund is given as how much na? 2 lakh. Shareholders fund is given as how much amount? 2 lakh. From this, you can understand that balance sheet total is 3 lakh. What is the one thing which is missing in the liability side, which is current liability? What is your current liability? Current liability will be how much amount? Na? 20,000. Your current liability will be how much amount? 20,000. Now, what is the requirement of the question? Question order requirement. Find out dash ratio, current ratio. What is the formula for current ratio? Current ratio is equal to current asset divided by current liability. So current asset we found it is 40,000. Current asset we found 40,000. Current liability we found 20,000. Up 40 divided by 20. What is the ratio? 2 is to 1. 2 is to 1 is the ratio. Answer is option B. Answer is option B. 2 is to 1. Answer is option B. 2 is to 1. Now one more question. One more question. Current ratio is 4 is to 1. Current ratio is 4 is to 1. Current asset is 60. Quick ratio is 2.5 is to 1. Already we done one 3-mark question. Right? Same way you need to find out the answer for this question. You please try this question and tell me what is the answer. Can we discuss the answer? Current asset is given 60. So first current ratio. What is current ratio? Current ratio is equal to current asset divided by current liability. Current asset is 60 divided by current liability will give you 4 by 1. Appa current liability is equal to 60,000 into 4. 60,000 into 4 will give you 2,40,000. Next, quick asset, quick ratio is given. What is quick ratio? Quick asset divided by current liability. Quick asset we don't know. Keep it as quick asset. Current liability we know 2,40,000 is the current liability. This will give you answer as 2.5 divided by 1. Appa quick asset is equal to 2,40,000. Quick asset is equal to 2,40,000 into 2.5. Appa 2,40,000 into 2.1, 2,40,000 into 2.5 will give you 6 lakh. Your quick asset is how much amount na? Current liability correct? Current liability எவ்வளோ? 2,40,000. Okay. 2,40,000 into 2.5. 2,40,000 into 2.5. Just wait. Yeah, current liability into multiply பண்ணிட்டோம். It is into 1 by 4. 60,000 கொடுத்துட்டான். Current liability is equal to 60,000 into 1 by 4. It is not 4 by 1. It is 1 by 4. அப்போ 60,000 into 1 by 4 will give you 15,000. So current liability is 15. அப்போ from this we can find out what is quick asset. Quick ratio is equal to 2.5 divided by 1. அப்போ quick asset is equal to it is 15,000 into 2.5. 15,000 into 2.5. 15,000 into 2.5 will give you 37,500. So current asset is 60,000. Quick asset is 37,500. Up a difference between current asset and quick asset will give you inventory. What is the amount of inventory? It is 22,500. Option A is the correct answer. Next one, question number 200. Dash is also known as acid test ratio. Dash is also known as acid test ratio. Quick ratio is also known as acid test ratio. Next one. Quick ratio given. Quick ratio of megamart is given 1.5. 1.5 is to 1. Which of the following transaction result in decrease in this ratio? When this ratio will decrease, you need to find out. When this ratio will decrease. Okay, first one. Sold goods costing rupees 10,000 for 12,000. Sold goods costing rupees 10,000 for 12,000. What is the journal entry for goods sold? Goods sold entry. Okay, 10,000 worth of the goods is sold for 12,000. What is the impact? Your cash or debtors will increase. Debtors will increase by 12,000. Your stock will decrease by 10,000. Your debtors will increase by 12,000 and your stock will decrease by 12,000. Sorry, 10,000. Stock decrease by 10. Debtor increase by 12. Upper meaning your asset increases because of this transaction. It means quick ratio. What is the formula? Quick asset divided by current liability. Asset increases. Upper when asset increases, when numerator increases, your ratio will increase. So this is not the correct answer. Cash collected from debtor. It means debtors decreases, cash decreases, cash increases. So one asset decreases, another asset increases, meaning no change in asset. So this option is also correct, not correct. Third one, purchase of goods for cash. Purchase of goods for cash. When you purchase goods for cash, what happened? Your purchase, meaning your stock increases. Stock what happened? Increases. When you purchase something for cash, your what happens? Your cash also what? Decreases. Cash stock increases and your cash decreases. Both are asset தான். But stock is not considered in quick ratio. Stock is not considered in quick ratio because quick ratio oda formula quick asset divided by current liability. Quick asset is equal to current asset minus stock. Appa stock is not considered. Ana cash alone decreases. Appa because of this, because of the third one, your cash alone decreases. Appa answer for this question is option C. What is option C? Purchase of goods for cash. Okay, next. Debt equity ratio of M enterprises given. Debt meaning loan, kadan. Debt equity ratio 2.5 is to 1. Debt divided by equity. Adan debt equity ratio oda formula. Okay, now what is the question? Which of the following transaction result in debt equity ratio? What is the formula? Debt divided by equity. When this ratio will increase? When numerator increases, ratio will increase. அவ்வளவுதான். இதுல எது numerator increase ஆகுதுன்னு பாரு. Purchase of goods on credit. What is the transaction? Here, when you purchase goods on credit, current liability only affected, not debt. This option is not correct. Payment to creditor. Creditors affected, current liability affected, no debt affected. Issue of debenture. When you issue debenture, debentures increases. Debenture is a debt. Debit, the debenture increases. So answer for this question is option C. Next, question number 203. Question number 203. Calculate operating profit ratio. Calculate operating profit ratio. Calculate operating profit ratio. Formula for operating profit ratio. Operating profit divided by sales into 100, or operating profit divided by, instead of telling sales, you can tell it as revenue from operation into 100. Revenue from operation is nothing but sales. And gross profit is given. It is 25% on cost. Gross profit is given as 25% on cost. Administration expenses is given. This is operating expense. Selling expense is given. This is also operating expense. Loss by theft. This is not an operating expense. It is non-operating expense. What is the formula for? What is the formula for operating profit ratio? Operating profit divided by revenue from operation into 100. Operating profit divided by revenue from operation into 100. Operating profit is equal to, what is the formula for operating profit? Operating profit is equal to gross profit minus operating expenses. Gross profit minus what expenses? Operating expenses. Gross profit minus what? Na? Operating expenses. So these are the formulas we are going to use in this question. First, I will give you 3 minutes time. First you try, then we will discuss the answer. Formula என்ன யூஸ் பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லிட்டேன். So think, apply this formula. Examல ratio பொறுத்த வரைக்கும், if you know the formula, you can easily solve it. If you don't know the formula, you cannot solve. So try to read this formula on a daily basis. It will give some confidence to you. And that is the only way to remember all the formulas, or whatever formulas we have daily basis. Let's spend some 10 minutes. That is sufficient. We have two formulas. One is operating profit ratio, another one is operating ratio. Here they are asking operating profit. Operating profit divided by operating profit divided by the revenue from operation into 100. One more formula we have, operating expense ratio அப்படின்னு ஒன்று இருக்கு. Operating ratio னு சொல்லுவோம். Operating ratio. It is operating expense divided by revenue from operation into 100. Anyway, we will solve this. Appa you will get the clarity. First of all, what are the information given? What are the information given? Sales given. What is your sales? Sales is 10 lakh. Sales is 10 lakh. GP ratio given 25% on cost. GP ratio given 25% on cost. GP is given in terms of cost. GP is given in terms of cost. Appa GP ratio. What is GP? GP is equal to 25% on cost. GP can be expressed in two ways. One as a percentage on cost, another one as a percentage on sale. Okay. Here GP is expressed in terms of cost. Cost means 25%, 25 by 100. 25 by 100 meaning 1 by 4. 1 by 4 on cost is equal to 1 by 4 on cost is equal to 1 by 5 on sale. 1 by 4 on cost is equal to 1 by 5 on sale. What is your sale? Sale is equal to 10 lakh. 10 lakh into 1 by 5. 10 lakh into 1 by 5 will give you 2 lakh. 2 lakh is your gross profit. Upon next find operating profit. What is operating profit? Gross profit 2 lakh minus operating expense. What are the operating expense we have? One is administration expense. 18,000 is administration expense. Also we have selling and distribution expenses 2,000. Both you should subtract. So what is the remaining amount? Operating profit. What is the operating profit? 2 lakh minus 18,000 minus 2,000. 2 lakh minus 18,000 minus 2000. What is your operating profit? Operating profit comes to 1,80,000. Now express this 1,80,000 in terms of sales. Appo 1,80,000 divided by 1,80,000 divided by 10 lakhs. 1,80,000 divided by 10 lakh into 100. This will give you 18%. 18% is your answer, not 23%. What you would have done? You would have taken added all the expenses. If it is operating expense ratio, then how to solve? If it is operating expense ratio, how to solve? Okay, if it is operating expense ratio, how to solve? What is the formula for operating expense ratio or operating ratio? Operating expense ratio is also called as operating ratio. Operating ratio is equal to cost of goods sold, cost of goods sold, or cost of goods sold plus Operating expenses. What are the operating expenses we have in this question? Cost of goods sold comes to, already we calculated gross profit. How much is gross profit? 10 lakh is the sales, and gross profit is 2 lakh. Appa sales minus cost of goods sold will give you gross profit. Gross profit is 8 lakh. Appa 8 lakh is your gross profit plus operating expense we have. Okay, what is the operating expense we have? Totally we have two operating expense. 18,000 is your operating expense as well as 2,000 is your operating expense. Our total operating expense comes to 8 lakh and 20,000 is your operating expense. What is the formula for operating ratio? It is 8 lakh 20,000. 8 lakh 20,000 divided by 10 lakh into 100. This will give you how much percentage? Means 82 percentage. ஒரு doubt வந்திருக்கு. Sir, can you explain how we get gross profit calculation? Listen friends, one important thing in this entire topic, ratio analysis la, see, gross profit இருக்குல்ல, this gross profit can be expressed in two ways. One as a percentage on sales, another one as a percentage on cost. Gross profit can be expressed in two ways. One as a percentage on sale, another one as a percentage on cost. GP on sales oda formula, GP divided by sales into 100. GP on sales oda formula, GP divided by sales into 100. GP on cost oda formula, GP divided by cost into 100. GP divided by cost into 100. When I say cost, meaning it is cost of goods sold. When I say cost, it is meaning cost of goods sold. Two ways of expressing GP we have. One as a percentage on selling price, another one as a percentage on cost price. One as a percentage on selling price, another one as a percentage on cost price. If GP is given in terms of selling price, if GP is given in terms of selling price, for example, sales is 20 lakh, sales is 20 lakh, GP is 20 percentage on sales. Straight kuduthuta, it is very easy to calculate. 20 lakh is the sales into 20 percentage. What is your GP? It is 4 lakh. This is a very easy calculation, but sales is given, GP is given 20 percentage, sales is given as 30 lakh, but GP is given as 20 percentage on, GP is given as 20 percentage on cost. Abdin kudutha, how to calculate this? Be careful. 20 percentage on cost means it cannot be applied on this 30 lakh. It cannot be applied on this 30 lakh. First we need to convert it in terms of sales. How to convert it in terms of sales? 20 percentage on cost, meaning, what is the meaning of 20 percentage on cost? 20 by 100 is the meaning of 20 percentage on cost. When you simplify this 20 by 100, you will be getting 1 by 5. 1 by 5 on cost price is equal to 1 by 5 on cost price is equal to 1 by 6 on selling price. 1 by 5 on cost price is equal to 1 by 6 on selling price. Sir, how sir? 1 by 5 has become 1 by 6. I told you GP can be expressed in two ways. What are the two ways of expressing GP? One as a percentage on sales, another one as a percentage on cost. Correct? Now GP on sales na formula enna sonna? GP by sales into 100. Correct? GP on sales na GP by sales into 100. Why we are multiplying with 100? Because we need to express the final answer in terms of percentage. What is the meaning of 1 by 6? 1 rupee is the profit if 6 rupees is my sales. 1 rupee is the profit if 6 rupees is my sales. What is the formula on GP on cost? GP divided by cost into 100. 1 rupee is my profit if cost is 5 rupee. Cost is 5 rupee. Profit is, cost is 5 rupee, profit is 1 rupee. What is your sales? Your sales is 6 rupee. That 1 by 5 on cost price is equal to 1 by 6 on selling price. 1 by 5 on cost price is equal to 1 by 6 on selling price. In this question, இப்போ இந்த கொஸ்டினுக்கு வாங்க. இந்த கொஸ்டின்ல என்ன சொல்லியிருக்காங்க? GP 25% on cost னு கொடுத்திருக்கு. அப்ப GP cannot be applied on, this GP cannot be applied on sales 10 lakh. GP 25% on cost னு கொடுத்திருக்கு. This cannot be applied on 25% on sales. அப்ப இதை எப்படி கன்வெர்ட் பண்றது? 25% na 25 by 100. If you simplify this, 1 by 4. What is the meaning of 1 rupee? 1 rupee is the profit if cost price is 4 rupee. 1 rupee is the profit if cost price is 4 rupee. Cost price 4 rupee. Profit 1 rupee. Appa selling price is 5 rupee. 1 by 4 on cost is equal to 1 by 5 on sales. அதனால தான் I applied 1 by 5. புரிஞ்சுதா? ஈவன் உன்னோட ஆன்சரை நீ இப்படி கூட கன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணலாம். எப்படி கன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணலாம்? இங்க என்ன சொல்லியிருக்கு? 25% ஆன் காஸ்ட்னு சொல்லியிருக்கா? சேல்ஸ் 10 லேக்கா? நம்ம கண்டுபிடிச்ச கிராஸ் ப்ராஃபிட் 2 லேக்கா? அப்ப 10 லேக் மைனஸ் 2 லேக் எவ்வளோ ஆச்சு? 8 லேக். டெல் மீ 8 லேக் இஸ் காஸ்டா? இந்த காஸ்ட்ல 25% நீ கால்குலேட் பண்ணா எக்ஸாக்டா உனக்கு 2 லேக் கிடைக்கும். புரிஞ்சுதா? அவ்வளவுதான் விஷயம். சரி, proceeding to the next question. Proceeding to the next question. Average inventory given of AB Limited. Average inventory is 1 lakh. Inventory turnover ratio is 6 times. Inventory turnover ratio. Remember, all turnover ratio will be expressed in terms of times. All turnover ratio will be expressed in terms of time. All profitability ratio will be expressed in terms of percentage. All profitability ratio will be expressed in terms of what? Percentage. T for T அப்படி ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க. P for P, percentage. இது தவிர்த்து ரிமைனிங் இருக்கிறது இந்த சால்வென்சி ரேஷியோ, ஓகேவா, லிக்விடிட்டி ரேஷியோ. இது ரெண்டுமே எப்படி எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் பண்ணுவோம்னா இஸ்டூல எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் பண்ணுவோம். 2:1, 3:1, 4:1 அப்படின்னு எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் பண்ணுவோம். ஓகேவா? இது ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க. இது ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஏன்னா நீ சம்டைம்ஸ் மிஸ்டேக் பண்ணுவ. ஜஸ்ட் அதை ஞாபகம் ஈஸியா கிளாரிஃபை பண்றதுக்காக தான் சொன்னேன். வாட் இஸ் த இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கிவன்? Inventory turnover ratio. What is the formula for inventory turnover ratio? Inventory turnover ratio is equal to cost of goods sold divided by average stock. What is the formula for inventory turnover ratio? Cost of goods sold divided by average stock. So question la average stock is given as 1 lakh. So this information given. Inventory turnover ratio is also given. This is also given. They ask you to calculate the amount of revenue from operation. Calculate the amount of revenue from operation. Nothing but they are asking us to calculate sales. If goods are sold at a profit of 25% on revenue, 25% on revenue meaning 25% on sales. 25% on what? Sales. இப்ப நமக்கும் சேல்ஸ் இருந்தா ஸ்ட்ரைட்டா 25% அப்ளை பண்ணலாம். ஆனா நமக்கு இருக்கிறது காஸ்ட். ஓகே, ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நீங்க ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க, அப்புறமா we will discuss the answer. Try this. தண்ணி குடிச்சிட்டு வந்துடுறேன். Have you completed this? So formula for it is inventory turnover ratio. Inventory turnover ratio is equal to cost of goods sold or cost of revenue from operation, cost of goods sold divided by average stock, cost of goods sold divided by average stock. This is the formula. So this is given as 6 times. If this is 6 times, cost of goods sold we don't know, average stock is given as 1 lakh. If average stock is 1 lakh, and cost of goods sold is, what is your cost of goods sold? Your cost of goods sold is 6 lakh. So your cost of goods sold is 6 lakh. And question given GP, what is your GP? GP is equal to 25 percentage on revenue from operation, meaning 25 percentage on sales. So we cannot directly apply this 25 percentage on 6 lakh. In 6 lakh we cannot apply this 25 percentage because this 6 lakh is cost of goods sold. This GP is 25 percentage on sale. 25 percentage on sale, GP 25 percentage on sale oda meaning 25 divided by 100. 25 by 100 is nothing but 1 by 4. 1 by 4 on sale is equal to 1 by 4 on sale is equal to 1 by 3 on cost. 1 by 4 on sale is equal to 1 by 3 on cost. From cost price to selling price means profit margin should be added. From selling price to cost price means profit margin should be subtracted. Okay, one is called as profit if sales is 4 rupees. One is called as cost if one is called as profit if cost is 3 rupees. One is called as profit if cost is 3 rupees. So up and now we found this sale from this we need to find out gross profit. So cost of goods sold is 6 lakh. In this cost of goods sold you apply the GP ratio. What is the number you should apply now? You should apply 1 by 3. 1 by 3 you should apply. What is the GP? GP is equal to 6 lakh into 1 by 3. 6 lakh into 1 by 3 will give you 2 lakh. What is your sales? 6 lakh plus 2 lakh will give you total sales of 8 lakh. 8 lakh is your sales. What is your sales? Your sales is 8 lakh. If sales is 8 lakh, cost of goods sold 6 lakh. This is what they are asking. What is the revenue from operation? Sales is nothing but what na revenue from operation. So answer for this question is 8 lakh. Have you understood this? Next question. Question number 205. Question number 205. From the following, calculate current ratio. Very, very simple formula. Current ratio is equal to current asset divided by current liability. What and all current asset? What and all current liability? You should understand. So first one, equity share capital. Not a current asset, not a current liability. Inventory is a current asset. Trade receivable is a current asset. Advance tax is a current asset. Advance tax is a current asset. Cash and cash equivalent is a current asset. Trade payable current liability. Bank overdraft current liability. Investment is not a current asset. So that's all. Substitute the number, you will be getting the answer. Try this question. Total of current asset, total of current liability. Current asset divided by current liability will give you your final answer. Three is to 1. So what is your total of current asset? 1 lakh. So exam when you present, you should write all the things separately. You should write current asset first. First you should write ratio formula. What is the formula? Current ratio. Current ratio is equal to current asset divided by current liability. Current asset, aprom current asset you should use, you should write what and all current asset. So 1 lakh is a current asset plus 1 lakh 20 trade receivable plus 24,000 is a current asset plus 56,000 is also current asset. So current asset order total 3 lakh. Similarly, current liability. What is the current liability order total? 60,000 trade payable. Also short term borrowings will come under current liability 40,000. Up total it is 1 lakh. So what is the ratio answer? It is 3 is to 1. That's all. Next question. Question number 206. Calculate opening trade payable, opening and closing trade payable. Calculate opening and closing trade payable from the following information. Total purchase is given. Cash purchase are 25% of credit. Cash purchase are 25% of credit. Trade payable turnover ratio is given. Turnover ratio is expressed in terms of times. Closing trade payables are 2 times of opening trade payables. ஒரு trademark question in this topic. Okay, very frequently this type is asked. This type is slightly important. நான் ரேஷியோன்னு சொன்னா this type of question is compulsory. டெஃபினட்டா இது மாதிரி கொஸ்டின் கண்டிப்பா கேட்பாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி சொல்லிடலாம். ஸோ கொஸ்டின்ல என்ன கேட்டிருக்காங்க? Calculate opening and closing trade payables from the following. Total purchase given, cash purchase given. Cash purchase are 25% of credit. Question la what is given? Trade payable ratio, trade payable turnover ratio. Trade payable turnover ratio. Trade payable turnover ratio is nothing but creditors turnover ratio. Trade payable turnover ratio is nothing but creditors turnover ratio. What is the formula for creditors turnover ratio? The formula for creditors turnover ratio, it is credit purchase divided by average trade payable. Credit purchase divided by average trade payable. Credit purchase divided by average trade payable. Question la total purchase is given as 15 lakh. Total purchases given as 15 lakh. Total purchase is 15 lakh. Total purchase consists of two things. One is cash, another one is credit. Okay, cash purchase are 25% of credit purchase. Cash purchase is 25% of credit. Credit purchase also not given. Appa credit purchase is assumed as X. Appa 25% of X, it is 0.25X. What is credit purchase? Credit purchase is X. Appa total purchase is equal to 1.25X. What is your total purchase? Total purchase is equal to 1.25x. If 1.25x is representing 15 lakh, 15 lakhs is representing 1.25x. Appa x is equal to, x is equal to 15 lakh divided by 1.25. X is equal to, this will give you value of x. Tell me what is the value of x. 15 lakh divided by 1.25. This will give you, it is 12 lakhs. This will give you how much amount? 12 lakhs. Actually 12 lakh 12 lakh is representing what purchase? Credit purchase. Credit purchase is 12 lakh. What is the cash purchase? Cash purchase is equal to 12 lakh into 25%. 12 lakh into 25% will give you 3 lakh. Our answer is correct. Okay. Anyway, we don't require cash purchase. We require only credit purchase. Divided by average trade payable. Divided by average trade payable. What is average trade payable? What is average trade payable? Meaning of average trade payable. Average trade payable is equal to opening trade payable plus closing trade payable, opening trade payable plus closing trade payable divided by 2. Opening trade payable plus closing trade payable divided by 2. So question whether any information is given for average trade payable. Yes, it is given. Closing trade payable is 2 times of opening trade payable. Closing trade payable is 2 times of opening trade payable. Suppose opening trade payable is Y. Opening trade payable is Y. What is your closing trade payable? It is 2 times, but 2Y. Okay. Opening trade payable is Y. What is your closing trade payable? It is 2 times of Y. 2Y. What is the substitute the numbers? What is the opening trade payable given in the question? No, not given. So Y. Y plus 2Y divided by 2 is equal to. What is the answer for average trade payable? Question average trade payable. நம்ம கண்டுபிடிச்சோமே. இன்னும் கண்டுபிடிக்கலையா? சரி, substitute the number. Credit purchase கண்டுபிடிச்சோமா 12 lakh divided by average trade payables. This will give you inventory turnover ratio, creditors turnover ratio of 4 times. If this is 4 times, this answer is 4 times. What is your average trade payable? Your average trade payable is 12 lakh divided by 4. It will give you 3 lakhs. It is 12 lakh divided by 4. It will give you 3 lakh. Average trade payable is 3 lakh. It means Y plus 2Y divided by 2 is equal to how much amount? 3 lakh. From this we can find out 3Y divided by 2 is equal to 3 lakh. You can multiply this 2 lakh with 3 lakh. 3Y is equal to 6 lakh. Y is equal to 6 lakh divided by 3. It is 2 lakh. 2 lakh we assigned as what? Opening trade payable. It means opening trade payable is for 2 lakh. What is your closing trade payable? Closing trade payable is 4 lakh. Opening trade payable is 2 lakh. Because closing trade payable is 2 times of Y. Y is 2 lakh. 2Y is equal to 4 lakh. That's all. Okay. So this one type of question you mark it as important, because it in ratio definita this type of question will be always there. Next question. From the following information of A Limited, calculate inventory turnover ratio. What is the formula for inventory turnover ratio? Cost of goods sold divided by average stock. What is average stock? Average stock is equal to opening stock divided plus closing stock divided by 2 will give you average stock. What is cost of goods sold? Cost of goods sold is equal to opening stock plus purchases minus purchase return plus direct expenses minus closing stock will give you cost of goods sold. Substitute the formula, you will be getting the answer. Average stock is equal to, what is average stock? Average stock is equal to opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. Opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. So, try this question. Question number 207. So what and all considered for cost of goods sold? Opening stock considered for cost of goods sold, closing stock considered for cost of goods sold, and purchases considered for cost of goods sold, wages considered for cost of goods sold, carriage outward. It is not a direct expense, it is indirect expenses. Indirect expenses are not considered for cost of goods sold. Return outward meaning purchase return. Return outward meaning purchase return considered for cost of goods sold. Revenue from operation not considered for cost of goods sold. Carriage inward direct expense. Wages direct expense. So it is considered for cost of goods sold. Rent paid, it is indirect expense not considered for cost of goods sold. So substitute the number, quickly substitute the number, and you will be finding the answer, getting the answer just like that. 3 marks, very easy question. In 1 or 2 classes we will complete our batch. Our batch started on 11th. We plan to take till 30th. Maybe one day I may extend, depends upon tomorrow's class. How tomorrow we are progressing அப்படின்றத பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் it is decided. We need to learn some format for schedule 3 and how many questions are there அப்படின்னு பார்ப்போம். If we complete tomorrow, Saturday class not required. If not completed, Saturday comfortably I will complete. That was the original plan. If you find this video is useful to you, share this information with your friends. Video is available in YouTube also. Complete பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? Can we discuss answer? Okay. First, what is the first requirement? Inventory turnover ratio. So formula for inventory turnover ratio. Inventory turnover ratio is equal to cost of goods sold, cost of goods sold divided by average stock. Cost of goods sold divided by average stock. First you need to find out cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold is equal to opening stock plus net purchases, opening stock plus net purchases plus direct expenses minus closing stock will give you cost of goods sold. Average stock is equal to opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2 will give you average stock. So first information, opening stock 19,000. So cost of goods sold, opening stock 19,000 plus purchase, opening stock considered, closing stock will be subtracted. So minus 21,000 last minus 21,000. அப்புறம் வேற purchase, yes it is considered 80. Purchase is 80,000. 80,000 is considered. அப்புறம் 80,000 is considered. Direct wages 9,000, that is also considered. Direct expense 9,000 plus வேற carriage outward, indirect expense not considered. Return outward considered. Purchase return, it is how much na 1,000. Okay, next purchase return 1,000. Next revenue from operation not considered. Carriage inward, yes considered 4,000. It is a direct expense. Carriage inward is a direct expense 4,000 minus closing stock. Tell me what is the cost of goods sold? Rent paid is a indirect expense not considered. So cost of goods sold, tell me what is cost of goods sold? 19,000 plus 80,000 minus 1,000 plus 9,000 plus 4,000 minus 21,000. What is your cost of goods sold? Cost of goods sold is equal to 90,000 is your cost of goods sold. What is your average stock? Average stock is equal to opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. Opening stock it is 19,000. Closing stock it is 21,000 divided by 2. Opening stock plus closing stock will give you answer for 20,000. Substitute in the formula. Cost of goods sold 90,000. 90,000 divided by average stock 20,000. 90 divided by 20. 90,000 divided by 20,000 will give you inventory turnover ratio 4.5 times. Definitely the times என்றத mention பண்ணணும். You should mention that it is expressed in terms of times. That's all. That is about question number 207. Next question number 208. Question number 208. From the following, calculate return on investment. From the following, calculate return on investment. Very easy formula. Return divided by investment. Other return on investment. Shareholders fund 16 lakh. 10% debentures 8 lakh. Current liability 2 lakh. Current asset 5 lakh. Non-current asset 21 lakh. Net profit after tax 3 lakh. Tax is 1 lakh. What is the formula for return on investment? Return on investment. return on investment. Simple இது return divided by investment. What is the return meaning? Return meaning profit before tax. Profit before tax divided by capital employed. Profit before tax divided by capital employed. What is capital employed? Capital employed is equal to shareholders fund plus long term debt. Shareholders fund plus what? Long term debt. What is profit before tax? What is profit before tax? What is profit before tax? Profit before tax is equal to profit after tax plus tax, add back tax, will be getting profit before tax. That's all. These are the formula we are going to use in this segment. Just apply the numbers, you'll be getting the answer. இன்னும் ஒரு 3 questions or 4 questions தான் இருக்கு. Ratio will come to an end. Tomorrow we'll complete ratio and we'll start with financial statement, last topic. Try this question number 208. Substitute the numbers. Completed. So shareholders fund, it is given as how much? 16 lakh. So 16 lakh plus long term debt. Debenture is the long term debt. It is 8 lakh. So 16 plus 8. 16 plus 8 will give you 24 lakhs. Correct? 16 lakh plus 8 lakhs will give you 24 lakhs. கரண்ட் அசெட்லாம் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. ஒரு வாட்டி பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட்டை இது பண்ணிடுங்க. You just prepare balance sheet also. Any other information missing and தெரிஞ்சிரும். First, shareholders fund is given as 16 lakh. Shareholders fund is given as 16 lakh. Next, debenture is 8 lakh. Debenture is 8 lakh. Next, working current liability 2 lakh. Current liability 2 lakh. Next, current asset 5 lakh. Current asset 5 lakh. Next, non-current asset 21 lakh. Non-current asset 21 lakh. Next, that's all. அவ்வளோதான். ஸோ இதை டோட்டல் பண்ணுங்க. யூ வில் பி கெட்டிங் 21 plus 5 26 lakh. Here, total it. Any other thing missing? 16 plus 8 24, 24 plus 2 26 lakh. All the informations are there. So what is the meaning of capital shareholders fund? Shareholders fund is equal to 16 lakh plus 2 8 அப்போ டோட்டலா 24 lakh. 24 lakh is the capital employed. Profit after tax. What is profit after tax? 3 lakh. Tax is 1 lakh. how much will be profit before tax? Will be 4 lakh. Okay, so answer for this question, profit before tax is 4 lakh divided by 24 lakh. So 4 divided by 24 lakh. 4 lakh divided by 24 lakh. So it is 16.67 percentage. It is 16.67 percentage. That's all. Yes, correct. That means decimal. 16.67%. That's it. So with this, we completed up to question number 208. Now, ஒரு 2-3 questions தான் ரேஷியோ பார்ட் முடிய போகுது. நெக்ஸ்ட் இதில் ஃபினான்ஷியல் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடுவோம். சரியா? நெக்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸ் பார்ப்போம். பை பை. கிளாஸ் பார்ப்போம்.